Hello and welcome back to all my scrappy friends. I hope you are well and are having a wonderful day. My name is Natalie Koenig and I am a maker with close to my heart, and this is my YouTube channel, Nat Scraps. Today we are working on day 5 of Christie's Beautiful Life's 31 Days of Sketches. Now, if you do not know what this is all about, there is a link to her Facebook page in the description below, and you can pop over there, check out what all the other designers are doing, check out what people are creating, and get a handle of the whole thing. But the premise is that every day we get a sketch. Today's is by Lisa. Lisa, I'm not even going to try to say your last name. I do apologize because I know I'm going to get it wrong. And Lisa has given us this pretty little sketch. Now, I have turned this sketch on the side, so I am doing a portrait photo, not a landscape photo, and I am going to do something that is a little bit different. So I started off playing with some frames that I cut up to represent those 3 kind of frames that are in the picture. Now, I do apologize in advance because I lost the start of this footage. So where you guys are joining me is where I had already done some stamping and started kind of formulating my plan, and I kind of derailed myself in that I went, I like the frames, I like the way I have them, but it's not quite matching. So I start cutting up the frame that I'd cut up beautifully, and so proud of that frame. It was so well done. And then I bring in this yellow one and I'm turning it around. The purple one's doing my heading because I can't quite get the purple to match, and I can't quite get purple ink to match that color. It retired close to my heart color, and I don't have the ink pad for it. So I'm like, I bought in a purple wilted violet from the Oxide inks and use that. Here you can see where I'm going to finish that stamping. I love this stamp. So this is Background Elements, and it just stamps beautifully. What I've been doing is I would stamp a solid one and then either side stamp a second and third generation to give a little bit of extra color over there. And that stamp set, guys, check it out. It is an amazing stamp set. I'm coming back in the top and I want that a little bit higher on that red. Now, my daughter had been in my studio doing a little bit of maths work, and when I brought in different coloured frames, she says, oh, but that's not the Pride Rainbow, Mum. And this photo was taken for her school's Wear It Purple or Pride Day, and so I hadn't actually done the rainbow. So I'd specifically gone and got those colours because she had mentioned that to me and it was quite important to her. So then to me, the frames weren't working with what I'd done in the background. At one stage I thought, no, I'm going to get rid of the frames altogether, but then I thought, oh no, well, that's not following the sketch. So here, because I didn't have purple paper, I've actually made a little bit of purple paper, and I end up redoing these frames in rainbow colours. So I decide to stick the frames down, and you can see me just flicking around there, sorry. So I'm going to adhere these frames where I think they need to be on the cardstock, and then I'm working out how it's going to frame my photo. And one of the things that keeps kind of tripping me up is I know that those colours start a little bit too high up and it puts my photo in an awkward spot on the page. And I do fix that a little bit later. But here you can see that I'm making another red frame part to go over the red. And I've taken a lot of this footage out, guys, because it was very time consuming to do this. And then I'm coming in with a piece of yellow that is going to go over the section where there's yellow on the frame, and I'm sort of tearing in between these colours. So what I'm doing is I'm going through and adding colours where those colours cross over on the ink on the frame. So I'll end up with a rainbow frame. Now, I'm sure there was a much easier way to do this. Probably start with white cardstock and do it with ink, or there's probably 1,000 easier ways to do this, but I was working in the moment and filling in things as I was going, making these frames, and I have to say I'm really, really happy with the results. I know it probably wasn't the quickest or the easiest way to make a rainbow frame, but I am extremely happy with the results in the end. And I do like how there's a bit of torn white between, because that kind of matches the inking where there's a little bit of white showing through as well. When I get to the end of creating these two frames, I am going to go in with some black ink, because I realized that I've done such a good job that it kind of blends in a little bit to the background. So I do, you'll see in a moment that I'm going to go back in with a little bit of black ink, and I'm going to go around the whole frame edges and blend some black ink onto that to make it stand out just a little bit. Now, there is a section at the top. You see that little yellow and blue section, that's going to be covered by the photo, so I'm not worried about that showing later on. And here's where I'm doing that blending. Now, I'm uber happy with the end result of this. I love the fact that it was inspired by what my daughter wanted. She wanted the pride flag, not just a random set of colors on the page. So yes, I got that in. And I'm really happy that my frames came together in such a creative and fun way. Here I'm just adding a little bit of black shimmer to the page, and I wanted a couple of bigger blobs, thinking that I would have some embellishments sort of in that corner. I do end up putting my title in that corner later, so it probably didn't work as good as it could. I popped a little bit of foam tape onto that photo, and I'm placing that photo down onto the top of the two frames. And that may have taken just 7 quick minutes in YouTube time, but it probably took a good hour or so in creating time in the cottage. It did take a little while to do. I cut some black shapes because I've got so much colour on the page. I really didn't want to bring too much else in, so I was thinking just some black shapes for the embellishments. I ended up going very simplistic in the end. I've cut the word purple because the actual day was called Wear It Purple Day, so I've cut out the lettering purple, and I've got just that black tag on the side, which I'm going to put the date on, and I'll probably pop her name on there as well. Because I know that my photo is sort of not in the position that's ideal, what I've done is I've come in and I've cut a good inch off the bottom and a ½ inch on either side and matted that on some black cardstock. That's just going to fix up where that photo sits on the page and makes it a little bit easier on the eye, because it's in the sort of the golden spot rather than not in the golden triangle there. So I'm much happier with that positioning. I'm going to adhere down that title, hoping that I get all the letters in the right spot, and I'm going to bring in that tag that I've written the date the photo was taken on and put it at the side. Didn't want to adhere there. And then just a few embellishments. So I've got a little heart here, and then I'm going to bring in a few other little embellishments, some tiny arrows, and I move these around a little bit until I'm happy. I've got an arrow here, the chevron up the top there. Finally realised I've got to turn that around and face it the other way, and I'll adhere those bits and pieces down. I reduced it to 3, so the 2 small ones and 1 big one. I thought there was 5, but I couldn't find the 5th one. So those pieces I do pop on with little mini glue dots, and then I'm going to write in here the word wear it, and then I kind of pause, wear it purple, and I realize I need days somewhere. I'm kind of worried a bit about where I'm going to put that, but do find a little spot just there on the end. And that is pretty much the layout, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed, and I will see you on the next one. Bye.